Okay. I can give a better description of the planet as you fly in. So as you descend towards the planet, you see a yellow-green orb with hazy blue-white highlights. And as you enter the atmosphere and you exit, and you finally slow down to where you don't need the heat shields over your windows anymore. This is what you see, assuming I'm on the right. Yeah, this is the right page. This is what you see. Now imagine all that fog in the lower area is yellow-green. A bright
Where are we?
green. Imran.
What are we doing here?
We're picking up the guy for taking to that tomb world that has a bunch of stuff that we can sell for money.
Yes, it's an escort mission. Let me put up my notes.
So we have to protect him? Or do we just drop him off?
I think we're just dropping him off. And then
We are dropping him off, and then if we'd like to stay, they will pay us for any artifacts we find and give to him.
yeah. And there's like a couple different outposts on that planet, and you said one of them was run by the Claridian Academy and whoever this guy is affiliated with, which I can't remember the name.
Yeah. The Hadean Preceptors.
So it's a treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm. Escort mission, then treasure hunt.
Or more simply put, free money then treasure hunt.
Yeah, free money and then death by acid somewhere. If we're going by Indiana Jones style treasure hunting. Why pre-tech players would have booby traps?
What kind of stuff do we need for treasure hunting?
Yeah, we're gonna need, the exploration gear. Stuff in there is probably what we'll need.
Also, any of you who have the Engines of Babylon PDF, there's vehicles in there, more than just the standard ones, and I can describe them to you. Let me pull up the list if you are interested in getting vehicle transportation.
Yeah. Well, I was going to get a hover cycle, but if there are actually more options, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a cheaper option that I think you guys will be interested in.
Yeah, I saw the Engines of Babylon today.
So, what's it called? I'm not sure if we did it before, but let's roll to see what you guys know about Benita. So, anyone who has history, roll that, or you can roll Culture Spacer. Culture Spacer will get you less information. But you can roll both if you want.
That would...
Intelligence modifier?
Ooh, Torbio listed in history class.
Yeah, and it really makes sense that you know about this planet, considering it's in the same system as the last big place you served.
Actually, no, we all did pretty well.
Yeah.
Was this the the War of the Roses, or the Japanese people?
There's 3 planets in the Benita system. One of them is the Japanese people planet. The other one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell you everything about this. You would know as a spacer about this system because that's a 12. So
wait, it was intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and you have a +1 in Culture Spacer, I think. But yeah. So what you know about I think it's the Theodorakis system. Let me switch pages, and I will know in 5 seconds. Oh no, it's the Thorian system. So what you know about the Thorian system is it has 3 inhabited worlds on it, and one of them is Veneta, and calling it inhabited is kind of a wishy-washy thing, because it's mostly just the outpost and some feral humans that a lot of people wouldn't call human anymore, just because they're pretty. A lot of them are pretty violent, most of them, and don't really have much in the way of high technology except for whatever they salvage.
What's the name of that planet?
Veneta?
We're on Veneta?
No, that's the place we would be going to.
Okay,
Yeah.
where are we now?
Imran.
Okay.
The place where Magpie Interstellar rules and where you got your job from them from. But
I'm sorry, I was right. And say the name of this place again.
the new place? Or the one you're at?
The place where we're standing on.
Imran. IMRAN. If anyone has a cooler sounding pronunciation of it, feel free to suggest it, and we'll use that. But for now, that's just how I'm reading it.
I ran out of pen. Where's more
Oh
pen?
no. That reminds me, I wish I had gotten pen and paper.
I need more
That would be
pen!
helpful.
I have a whole
Hang
jar.
on.
I'll give it to you.
If only you had a teleporter psychic.
Yeah, just straight through the TV or the computer screen.
Oh no, you just teleport yourself holding the jar, give it to him, and teleport away.
That might be a
Jars
little
are-
creepy.
My pen jar's all full of pencil and Sharpie.
Yeah, but
And-
the only way the
And
power
Shiner
works
Brewery
is...
tokens.
Nice.
What tokens?
It's okay. Keep going. I will write down for him. What do we know about
No, I found a pen.
Venda? Oh, good.
Veneta?
Veneta.
Yeah, I was grabbing my own notepad so that I can write stuff down too.
Yeah, even an electronic requires pen and paper.
It's so much easier than pulling up another window and typing stuff in. You might need the controls for other stuff. Okay, so let me just pull up the Veneta write-up I have and read from that. Well, not all of it. So, you'd know that there's a station in orbit, and a lot of the stuff that most visitors tend to go there. They don't tend to go down to the surface unless they have business.
Bezic, I'm really sorry I keep interrupting you. I'm trying to follow you. You're talking about Veneta now, or Imran?
Yes, Veneta. The rules
Okay,
were
okay.
for Veneta.
Okay, sorry. I'll
No
stop
problem.
interrupting.
No problem. Feel free to interrupt if you have a question.
I'm trying to
That's what
take
I'm here
diligent
for.
notes.
Okay, so, you know about the space station, and that's where a lot of stuff goes on. There's a lot of cargo ship transports that go between that go down to the surface and come back up with stuff, with mostly junk salvaged from what is basically a mostly planet-wide city that is in ruins. You've only ever really seen it from orbit, though. You didn't have any reason to go down there.
Planet-wide city is called an ecumenopolis. How many bonus points do I get for remembering that?
Nice, nice.
I can't really give you any more bonus points because you rolled a 12. You rolled the best you can roll on.
You give him
Well,
like
one short of the best you can roll.
you give him like 10.
I'll give you 10 experience points for that.
I'll take it.
I'll be nice. Have 10 experience points. And there's one continent that maybe about the size of Australia that isn't covered in city and was never covered in city. But yeah, that's largely what you know of the planet. It's in ruins now. It before the Scream, like 600 years ago, it was obviously some sort of bustling metropolis. But
Okay, and so the troglodytes just kind of inhabit the ruins?
yeah, from the stuff you heard from talking with other spacers who had gone there specifically to go down there and loot stuff, you know that like going into the city is really, the city portion is really dangerous, and you know that the settlement and outpost where you'll be delivering the guy is like they've basically renovated a very small portion of the city around the coast that's like built, and that has a spaceport close by, and they're pretty much, and the settlement extends into the spaceport, but they don't really. The
Is it well
undercity
fortified?
is sort of ignored. I mean, yeah, and I'll also give you that you heard stories from the spacers who had been down there and survived their way back. How to describe the city? Let me pull up some pictures because it's like Coruscant or Terrace in a way, in that it the structures reach miles into the sky, but it's a little bit more orderly than Terrace or Coruscant. So just let me move over here, and I'll pull up a picture in a second.
John, can we say that you're just telling us this so that I can take notes and not feel guilty about it?
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
I was gonna role play a little bit of it, but I'll just like do a little short version.
Yeah, you can still do the role play.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do the role play. I always feel guilty if I write down things that my character does not know. So
Oh, I just write them down in red.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, like if I'm not present and you guys are doing stuff, I just write notes down in red, and that way I can like try to meta ask, did anything happen while I was gone?
So let me see. I didn't upload these pictures, so I have to open the folder and do it now. There's one particular one I'm looking for. I was looking for a lot of pictures to try and describe this place.
Pinterest is a wonderful thing.
Yes, I have many of them, and I'm trying to find the one I'm thinking of.
Just start putting where the title or the name is. Just put that what do you want it to be?
Pinterest is a dangerous thing.
Well, that too. But if you use it constructively for story stuff, It can be quite
No,
helpful.
I mean that you can get lost in there and never come out, among
It's
other
true.
places, but it's one of them.
I think I might have forgotten to download that. Oh well. Here, this one's good. The ones I downloaded will do for now.
I mean, the good thing is that more and more people are finally drawing these things, but they're still hard to find. You find more stuff for D&D games.
This is very similar to what it would look like. I put it on the right page, right?
These are the ruins or the
Yes.
outpost?
This is what it would have looked like when it was, you know, bustling and alive, I guess. But you see the spaces in between the buildings. Imagine to allow for like a landscape that was all like there's a flat surface built over that, a platform. So generally you can't see down into the depths of the skyscrapers.
So what you're saying is it's a layered city, and unlike
Yeah.
Coruscant, there is no drop to the bottom.
Except for like every like mile increment, there's like along where the street would be, it's open to allow for like air movement and weather patterns, so that after like 100 years, the air down there doesn't become all CO2 and everyone dies, and they don't need to actually have powered ventilation systems.
Okay.
So, except for the vertical passageways, it's mostly layered.
Yeah. So like there's city blocks sectioned off in mile wide areas. Oh yeah, and each of the mega towers is about a mile square.
So, and this is Veneta, and so it's basically like this, but all in ruins now.
Yeah. And there hasn't been a huge amount of exploration very far into it. The actual outpost is basically everywhere that's been properly secured, and they haven't even secured all the way to the bottom of that outpost. I mean, it's been rummaged through, but
So it's kind of
not-
like Diamond City in the middle of Boston in Fallout 4.
Huh?
Like everything else is a wasteland, but then in this one area there is civilization.
yeah.
Context is lost on me.
If you don't play Fallout 4, I don't know how to describe it to you.
They turned from a
Sorry, I
bar
had
to
to
a
talk.
city.
Had to talk with someone for a second, but so yeah, it's basically like that. And from orbit, it looks kind of checkered because while there's huge flat spaces, because of like it's all covered over, there are some of the buildings are not level with each other at certain points, so it's kind of uneven if you look at it from orbit.
I want to know about the troglodytes. That's what I'm interested in. Are they tool-using people? Are they organized into social groups? How are they compared to regular humans physically and mentally?
They are humans, basically. They're just very tribal in nature. You don't know a huge amount about them because every encounter has been violent. At least so far. And also, so like the layer that I was telling you about in between the buildings over these crevices, underneath would be like empty crevices where the buildings actually are separated, and that would be like the depths level. And that's the most dangerous because there's no power in the city anymore, so there's no lights.
I like light.
Can we fly our spaceship down there?
Spaceship? No. You can't fly your spaceship down in between the buildings. It's too big. It's got wide, maybe a little bit wider than New York type streets down there, but flying down there would be insane skill checks. You'd be able to fit, I think. I think the streets of New York would, or a little bit wider, would fit you, but
So unless we all want to invest in an Atmo flyer, we'll pretty much stand on top.
yeah. I mean, it's not like you can't go down the layers. There's stairways and dead elevator shafts, and there's ways down. And if you go in from the bottom at the edges, because the city doesn't go right up against the coast on the coastline, and the outpost is at the coast, or is at the edge of the city, so you can access the under city areas through there. But yeah, just one thing fairly obvious, someone probably should learn pre-tech.
Why is that obvious?
Because it's a massive pre-tech city, and if you want to be able to do anything with the pre-tech aside from push buttons, then you're gonna need someone with the pre-tech skill at
Yeah,
level
well,
zero.
I'm gonna be getting
Okay. Does
that.
anybody have that?
I'm gonna be getting it with my new skilled leveled up stuff. Hypothetically, if I can find someone to train me in it.
Yeah, and that's the issue. If you were at Clary, yeah, no problem. You could get someone to get you. To
Well, but I
level
already
0.
rolled to find someone that's selling stuff, and the guy probably can like perform maintenance and stuff on them.
Well,
like the
we'll
people
get-
who sell
we'll
it
get
should
to
have like
that.
a mechanic. So we'll see.
We'll get to that. Okay, so yeah, I think at some point, the people who rolled history and got a 9 or a 10, I will copy and paste some of a couple of the things I wrote up. They're not 100% necessary. They're not super necessary right now. They're basically descriptions of what I just told you, except a little bit more detailed. Okay, so let's see. It costs like 100 credits a day to dock here at on Imran. So whoever is going to pay for that, remember to mark that
Yeah.
off.
Yep, I got it.
And you're not going to learn the whatever it is anyone's learning in one day. So just be aware of that. Let me see. Some other things you would know about Veneta. Uh, whatever zoos and sort of stuff there might have been 600 years ago, obviously had whatever animals were in there are got out of containment and now inhabit the city. So you have wild creatures living there. And not necessarily.
What's the point of the outpost? What's its purpose?
Its purpose is to be sort of like a field lab for studying things before sending them back to, sending the pre-tech stuff back to their respective factions, where they have better equipped and more extensive and expensive labs to examine the stuff.
Making preliminary examination of recovered artifacts.
Yeah, and like it's a little bit more than I think what you would call preliminary, but yeah, and most of the stuff they find would be classified as pre-tech junk. It doesn't really function. That's like 90% of what comes out of there. But even looking at some of the exotic materials that could be produced by pre-tech science is really useful. So they will pay for it. And let's see. So let's see the creatures. Yeah, there's feral tribes of humans. Very territorial.
But they don't use tools or language?
They some of them have passed down pre-tech devices and stuff that they will use in emergencies if they have them. No one's ever found one of their settlements or attacked one, but occasionally, like groups of them will have pre-tech equipment. Occasionally.
Does that include weapons?
They could be weapons, could be anything really. There's a lot of pre-tech devices, and a lot of them could be useful in various different ways. And let me think. But other than that, it's mostly primitive stuff or stuff they steal from TL4 adventurers that they kill. So they do know how to. They get the idea of how to use the technology, and they can usually figure it out. But so like they have like TL4 weaponry available to some of them, and sometimes lower tech stuff depending on whatever they manage to get from people they ambush and kill.
So what is that, laser guns?
Yeah, laser guns, magnetically accelerated projectiles, any of your mag weapons. Probably also have regular guns sometimes. I mean, it's really varied what they can have. You just have no idea.
When are we getting paid for the last job we did?
In total, you got 100K, but Leopold handed out 10K each. Oh, I just remembered the thing that I forgot to do. There was a GM turn I was supposed to do. You could have gotten news. Oh well, it's only been 4 days since these things would have happened, so there wouldn't be any news yet.
Oh yeah, Bazak, I made 3. I'm gonna make 3 months loan payments in advance. Well, I mean, I know I owed 1, but I'm gonna pay 2 more in advance.
Okay.
And I took money out from the total for maintenance, and I was looking for a vac suit and a survival kit for Kairos character.
Do the rest of us have a survival kit?
Yeah, I got everybody one of those on the ship.
I'm not sure I ever figured out what we all got.
I got everyone a compad, a survival kit, and a vac suit.
Let me pull up the ships.
Oh, how did the fuel scoops work on the ship?
Basically,
Does that work for any star? Can I just fly to a star and just get the fuel from it?
yeah, but the thing is, it costs life support. You have to spend a long time circling around a star.
Okay, so that'd be just like if we got stuck somewhere.
Yep. That's
okay, good to know. I was like,
now.
Yeah, okay. Well, so if a spike drive jump goes horribly wrong, and then we end up in a system that has a star but no people live there, we'll still be good. Okay, good to know.
And you just used the last of your jump drive fuel.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate, but oh well. It's good to know how that works, and hopefully it can be far enough away that like a bad pilot check doesn't mean we fly into the sun.
Well, yeah, I don't think you really need to make pilot checks for that.
Okay, that makes me feel better about going near a sun or a gas giant. I guess a gas giant would be pretty easy to go into, but
Well, I mean, if you tried to go into the atmosphere, yeah, you'd have to make checks. That's a lot more difficult than finding safe distance in orbit around a star and scooping coronal ejections for fuel.
okie dokie. So what were you checking on the ship for?
The loan payments buried. Do you know what the loan payment price is?
It's 13,000 per. I wrote it down, and so now total I've paid 4 payments, so I will owe 723,000 left on the loan because the total was 775,000.
13,000. Is that including maintenance?
Not including maintenance. It's 13,000 per payment, so times 3, and then maintenance is $3,125. I calculated everything out already, so I have my spreadsheet.
I didn't know the payments were 13,000. I thought it was a little bit under 10K.
Nope.
Yeah.
Very. Well, I am in the dark on that.
The galactic bank teller failed.
In our favor?
Well, no, because I had already taken off the appropriate amounts.
I was hoping this was like Monopoly.
Maybe they'll give us a screw-up discount.
So how much was that again?
That would be a no discounts. No discounts for you.
What total for which thing? So loan payments is 13,000 each times 3, and then I just did it all in Excel, so I don't have like the number I subtracted because I did a modular subtraction. I just multiplied the loan payment by 3 and then also took out the maintenance. So, and maintenance is 3125.
And maintenance was what?
3,125.
Yep, that is correct. So the total you paid for this month was 16,125.
Yeah, plus I made 2 extra loan payments, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I subtracted it all out before I gave everybody their money.
We thank you for doing business with us. We hope you continue to pay your bills on time. Thank you again.
Is that your attempt at Russian, Barry?
It is possible. Would you like me to continue on?
Well, no, it's pretty good. And I'm good. I don't need more demonstrations of it.
Alright, we shall continue on then.
Okay, you owe $723,000 to Terror Prime Outfitting.
Yep, that's what I have in my spreadsheet. So, yep. We are in agreement.
Let's see, the fuel is at full right now, isn't it?
Yeah. Life support's down a little bit, but
Yeah, life support should be down.
I'm not sure how much more it should be down.
I think 54 is probably where it should be.
Okie dokie.
If not, it's the GM's fault and you get lucky.
Alright. Works for me. Okie dokie. So now what's happening?
Well, now you guys get to talk to each other about now that you've landed and I assume subtracted 100 for the day's docking fees. You can pay it. You can pay ahead of time for a couple of days if you want.
No, I'll just do it once a day just because I don't know how long we're going to be here, so. But I did subtract.
Okay. So now I guess it's meeting. Everyone figures out what they're going to do, and it is roleplay time.
So where are we? What's going on? What's
Well,
You
we're
just
Imran,
landed at
yeah.
Imran.
and we're just on the ship?
Yep.
Yep.
I assume then we are all in the mess hall discussing what we're going to do next.
That works for me. So, Gemma, did they get back to you on whether or not they still needed a pickup for that planet?
Bazak, did they get back to me that they needed a pickup still on that planet?
Yes, they did, and they said they will contact you in a couple of days about, getting everything set up.
Seems like they still need a pickup. They said they'd contact us in a few days for the details. But I say we head there anyway. Even if that doesn't pan out, I'm sure there's other things to be done there.
Wait, aren't we on the planet that they need to be picked up from already?
Oh yeah, maybe we are.
Yeah, so we just had. All right, so we've got a couple of days to kill. Is what you're saying?
Okay, out of character, we're picking up the dude here and taking him to the other. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, it's gonna be a little bit. I mean, once the guy comes and contacts you, then you're gonna have to work. Then he's gonna have to work out getting the cargo that he wants you to transport up to your dock and stuff. So it'll be at least a day after that.
From what I understand, he's a bit of a heavy packer. There'll be quite a bit of equipment that needs to come with him.
And like he asked you like what your the cargo capacity for the ship is and stuff, and asked if it could hold like 50 tons.
It can indeed. I think the capacity is 100 tons. So.
And you could expand it to 200 tons for pretty much only the cost of labor.
So
That
it should,
seems slightly impossible because I feel like the cargo. Well, I guess that's cargo tonnage, not cargo space. But
Yep.
never mind.
so in the meantime, we have some time to kill. I was thinking of spending our newfound cash on getting some things we might need for the planet we're heading to.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and find somebody who deal this planet since it's fairly technologically advanced. They might have some vendors that are selling some pre-tech stuff, and since we're gonna be going to a planet with pre-tech things, I might see if I can pick their brains on some stuff. Maybe pick up some gear.
Good idea.
Are we going to explore these ruins while we're there?
Yeah, because they said that whatever we find, we can sell to them for money. So we get the money for taking them there, and then whatever we find, we can also sell to them for their research purposes.
I was thinking about buying a nav comp and making a map of the thing. How much do you think they'd pay for a map of the ruins we explore?
Well, if we went to places they haven't been before, that would allow their own teams of explorers to kind of know where they're going. So they might, obviously, I always love to talk to them, but that might be worth it.
Just a quick, bit of reminder. The GPS stuff, it needs like GPS satellites in orbit for it to work on the planet.
That's not how I read this.
But let me find it. Where is it?
Page 40. On the right side at the bottom.
A character with an AvCom will never get lost on worlds with GPS satellites. Can also make a crude but serviceable map of all buildings or landscapes they travel through.
A totally different clause. Doesn't have any. It's just completely separated from GPS satellites.
This is true. So yeah, you'll be able to make crude maps. Probably won't be much help if you go into the depths.
What do you mean?
Yeah, how would mapping all the buildings not be helpful?
I mean, you'll be able to like map out streets and stuff, and obviously find your way back and stuff. It's just you won't, unless you go in a building, you're not going to be able to map out the building itself.
Okay, what I'm hearing is don't bother. You're not going to be able to make any money off this, so never mind.
No, you will. You'll be able to find your way back without making any rolls.
Never mind.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should invest in a vehicle. It would help us travel a little bit faster and keep us safer and spending all our time out in the open. I was also planning on seeing if I could find some sort of pressure tent. It would give us a little protection to the elements. We're also going to need to think about rations. And the other thing is, if we get a vehicle, we could pack stuff we can't carry on our own.
Yeah, it's true, but well, the ruins might not be very ground vehicle friendly.
You could get grab vehicles.
Yeah, I know. But out of character, I think Zaren's talking about like a ground car more than yeah. But that's why Leo is suggesting maybe not. Yeah, I was maybe thinking about if we all had some hover cycles or something like that, then we'd be able to navigate some trickier terrain and some smaller spaces. But then it's not as good for carrying things.
Plus, we don't need to explore tricky areas. I'm sure there's plenty of places big enough for our car to get through. And we can just wait till we have more money and more experience.
I think. Did any of you see the Grav Explorer?
What?
It's like a mobile base. There are microlight flyers. I think all of you would just know about these. They're like a combination between small ultralight, like, let's see, one person planes, and like a hover cycle or something, or a Grav flyer. They cost 2,500 credits, and yeah, here's the description: are particularly popular on low gravity worlds with atmospheres thick enough to support flight. While the flyer relies chiefly on prop-driven propulsion, it has sufficient gravitic support to manage VTOL operations.
The question is, can anyone fly the thing?
Well, it's a one-person vehicle, so each person have to have their own, and also have the skill to be able to fly it.
Yep,
Um,
and therein lies the issue.
Yeah.
Well, if we get a vehicle, it's going to require all of our money, all of us to pool in some amount of money. I really think it's something we should think about, especially if we're going to be exploring ruins. It seems like we'd be kind of exposed, just out by ourselves. I don't really know much about them, so I don't know what would be the ideal one. But I just don't think we should be exploring the ruins without some sort of temporary base to hide out in. Even something as small as a ground car.
You could get a tank for 50 grand.
How are we going to have room for this vehicle and all this cargo we have to haul as well?
We could buy it on Bonita.
Large vehicles will take up 50 tons, medium vehicles can take up to 10 tons, and small vehicles, 1. You can also pay for a little bit of labor to expand your cargo space, because you have 5 free mass that is just sitting around, and it takes no power.
Or we could just transport him and then buy the vehicle on Bonita.
So which one are we buying?
That I don't know. I think the ground car is best, but I don't know all that much about it. You guys think another one is better? I'm willing to pull in some money for it.
There is a grav car.
Well, we have to get something that we can afford. Now, I figure unless others got a better paycheck than I did, we each have, combined, we have about 40K.
50K.
Oh, captain's
forget
bonus?
You forget
No,
the
you're
absent
forgetting
member.
Kyra. Yeah, absent party member.
Paid the new guy?
He's part of the crew. Helped finish the mission.
Wasn't a part of the original negotiation. I figured he'd earn his.
I've got a copy of my contract right here, and it reads 25% of net.
I feel like when I wrote the contract for the new guy, I would have edited things.
Oh, is that how contracts work, you think? You just kind of change them as you go along?
Well,
Just make a business roll.
Oh dear.
I feel like we accidentally glossed over that earlier.
I mean, we didn't gloss over anything. You told you told the new guy what you told the new guy.
But then I also had a meeting where I was talking about he's joining the crew and everything with everybody else too.
You didn't talk about how you were gonna pay him.
Gemma took that to mean he's joining the crew, so in next future jobs he will get equal pay. I didn't know it was this job.
Okay, well, if you want, if actually, that kind of makes sense. So we can adjust that, and then everybody gets more money. Hold on a second.
Also, easy. That's an easy roll, John. You know full well that this is a breach of contract.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Sorry, I'll fix things. I realized I made.
Wait. Hang on. Out of character. Are we gonna screw Kyrath over while he's not even here? Because that's
Look,
I don't
isn't a
I don't
Star
like that
Wars.
either. I don't like that either.
Because I feel like when I said he was going to add the crew, we probably would have had a discussion about how he was helpful in us actually getting paid. Because
Well,
we
can gloss
got the
over this
footage
part
and
of the
stuff we
discussion.
needed because he was in the ruins and threw
Yeah.
the creature out, and we saw it, and his friend, his crewmate, died and let us escape unscathed.
Let's just save this for a
Here's-
flashback
here's-
later.
Here's how we solve this problem. In character, we're all greedy and we're not going to let him get a cut. Out of character, if he needs something, we can all just volunteer to buy him stuff. And not a
Yeah.
big deal.
If anything, he owes us fees for rescuing him from the planet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So don't feel too guilty. You can make it work out of character that he doesn't really get the shaft, but in the fiction he does.
Exactly. Fiction
Doesn't
makes sense.
Doesn't he
out of
get any
character.
money for his own contract with the company?
No, because it was whatever
If-
crew fixed things, and I got paid for it, so there was
Yeah.
no more money available from the company for him.
The crew of the Pathfinder gave them what they wanted, so they got the money.
I have an idea. It involves a retcon, though. What we could do is we could say that that these quote unquote contracts that we have are job to job, and so that contract was completed, and I got paid my 25% net or whatever it was, and then the next job that we get is a new contract and is subject to renegotiation.
Or I could just reword the now after we realized that this was a problem, and if we might have an expanding and decreasing crew, to change the language to receives equal share distributed across all crew members.
Yeah, John sounds like less lawyers.
Or we could make things really interesting and have an interesting conversation when Kyrath gets back. Just flashback
Nah,
to how you guys worked it out.
I mean,
less
I
lawyering
realized I
is
made.
fine. Well, yeah, I like that idea. Job to job.
No, I don't want to have to contract negotiate every time.
Well, no,
Just
that's
like-
that's,
it'll
that's,
just be-
that's
it'll-
what I was
it'll just-
getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. What you said, essentially.
Yeah, just say the equal share of profits after loans and ship maintenance and such, split evenly across all crew members, including
Just
captain.
every job is an even split among the crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we never
Or-
actually worked out the specific wording of the contract.
Yeah, the
so
specific. I feel like that's how I would have worded it, but I guess. But since
I-
there were
I
4
can believe
people, I
that.
said 25. I probably said 25% in character, like either in or out of character at some point, because I'm dumb.
You might
Because
have
I
said it,
originally
but the
thought,
question
because I
is, was it
originally
on the
thought we were
contract?
only going to be doing this more like when Kyref couldn't do the Star Wars thing, so I thought he would just never be playing.
I've got the
Oops.
solution. The 5 of us just walk into a room that has 4 knives in it.
That doesn't sound like a good scenario. Can I bring
Sounds-
can I
sounds
bring my
good to
pistol
me.
to the knife fight?
Negative.
Why is this a good
Neither-
idea?
There won't
I mean,
be
you know
much
the
of a fight.
sisters aren't going to turn on each other. It'd just be 2 to 2. Or 2 to 3.
It'd be a team of 2 versus 2 people who are on their own.
3 people who are on their own.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, 3.
Anyway,
Yeah,
how
the
would we just
Solaris
say
sisters
after this
win.
job? Then if I hadn't worded the contracts that way, then when I rewrite the contracts to include Kyraf's character into the contracts, then I changed the wording so that it says equal split between all of crew members.
Right.
There has to
Do
be a
this
way
job,
to
right?
amend contract, right?
Yeah.
This is agreement of all parties.
Yeah,
no,
if
Barry, no
everyone's
thunder gunfights.
agrees. If everyone like signed a new contract that voided the other one and made
Yeah, there's
the
there's
new
medi-
wording the new contract, but
It's called
would
mediation.
his character? Yeah.
That's a
Any
thing.
which way, this is all too complicated.
We can role
All
play
right, we have not,
how
how
that
it
worked
does
out
when-
though
yeah.
later.
yeah,
when we have
Kyraf's
everyone.
actually here. Yeah. But basically, we've now decided that everyone gets 12,500 credits instead of 10.
Okay.
Wait,
I
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
Say that again.
Everybody gets an extra 2,500.
Kyrath, if you listen to this, I'm sorry.
We owe you a couple gear points. This is true.
But I got to get paid.
Yes.
Ow.
How much?
This
extra?
isn't Star
Say it
Wars,
again?
guys.
2,500.
I don't even. Do you even know how to math, John?
I'm sure Barry will leave that apology in the stream.
But of course, it is all part of my, how do you say, party negotiation and interrelations
Barry,
nightmare.
Do you wanna spike thrower to the face?
Bring it. I have shear gun.
Okay, can we actually go and actually shop for things now? Please. Can we do that?
Are you sure you don't have a grav tank and a vortex cannon?
This can be arranged.
I mean, if we spent all of our extra money, a grav tank, we could get a grav tank, but no one would get paid.
No, you couldn't. You'd need 200 grand for a grav tank.
Why do we need a grav tank?
Mission dictates gear.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean the grav tank. I meant
You just
we
want
can just get a
motorcycles.
regular tank. We can get a tech level. We can get a tech level 3 tank.
You could.
You just. I think our captain just wants to turn us into a biker. I really just think that's what he wants.
I mean,
Here's-
motorcycles can fit. Hover cycles are nimble and can fit in small corners and are also faster.
Okay, here's my thinking. I think we should avoid these grav things. I think we should either get something. No, listen. We should either get a regular old wheels vehicle or something that flies. No, none of this in between stuff.
At least not at the moment. We need money.
Because
Oh
in
my
my
God.
from what I can see, they're not any better than a wheeled vehicle, really.
No,
have,
they can
like,
go
they-
for more rough terrain.
Yeah,
whatever.
without
We,
And
any
they can
issues.
they can jump 10 feet. They can fly 10 feet in the air, so they can go over obstacles.
Also,
they're
the only
twice
one who
as
can
much.
drive like a maniac and not get you all killed in any sort of vehicle can only do that in grab vehicles, and it is Vara.
I mean, I've seen 4-wheel drive. It can do a lot.
Yeah, but do you guys have ground vehicle training? I mean, you can drive a car on roads and stuff and off-road a bit, but when it comes to combat or pulling crazy maneuvers, you need the vehicle skill.
That's why I'd be looking for someone to train me in it if I got a grab vehicle.
Who?
Preferably, but-
I thought one of us was a pilot. Isn't it?
That only accounts for
Pilot
space.
Eagle?
That's space vehicles.
Yeah, it's vehicle space.
There's
Eagle
very
has
separate
vehicle
things.
grab as well as vehicle space.
I have vehicle grab.
Oh, so she could actually do a grab vehicle then.
Yeah, she knows how to drive them.
that's
Even to the
super
point where
great,
she can do
but
crazy
they're still
stuff.
twice as much money.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Again, we're going to this planet to make money by selling relics and stuff. We can always just make enough to buy a grab vehicle, but we need something to maneuver around now when we get there.
If you get a graph car, you can put a mounted gun on it.
Doesn't that require like gunnery skill to actually fire though?
What are we doing? What's our task? Our task is to go explore ruins. Are we going into combat?
The ruins are dangerous. Do you not remember what I described?
We can't prepare for every conceivable eventuality. That's not real.
Oh, of course not.
I think
That's why
think
I'm
where
gonna
John
go
and
look
I
for
are at
pre-tech
is-
weapons.
I want
I
to
think where
grab
John and I are at is
Explorer.
we just want a vehicle to get around. We'll pack ourselves, our characters, with enough ammunition and guns and whatever we need to deal with those threats. But for now, we just need something to move us.
This is also reminding me that I need a backpack.